Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Udhiraya Nashtaprayeshu Avatrayeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavade Naistiki Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaaya Bhagavate Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Dinami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vachachada Desadharini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. First of all, I welcome all the devotees for this Sunday morning first canto Bhagavatam class. So, for several weeks we have been seeing the first canto. So far we have seen up to 11 cantos, and this 11th canto, what we have seen is first this sages of Naimisaranya, they have asked some 6 questions, and Sutta Goswami has answered all the 6 questions. Afterwards, in the 4th chapter, again the Naimisaranya sages, they ask another 4 questions. One is about the history of Bhagavatam. The second question is about the life and the activities of birth and the activities of Parikshit Maharaj. They ask questions. So for that only Sutta Goswami is answering. So actually when Sutta Goswami was answering, he slightly deviated. Sutta Goswami slightly deviated. He went to other topics like Kunti Maharani's prayer, then Bhishma's departure, then Lord Krishna's entrance to Dwarka, then related to that, so slightly then Aswatthama punished. So like that, sidewise he went. This Sutta Goswami, he slightly went out of topic. So that time again the Naimisaranya sages they are reminding Sutta Goswami that you please come back to this Parikshit Maharaj's birth and activities like that. They are telling. So this chapter is about that. So this chapter 12 is birth of Parikshit Maharaj. So today we will see about that. So I will just share my screen. So these are the contents we are going to cover today. This first one is, as I told earlier, Sutta Goswami is deviated slightly to this Aswatthama punished Queen Kunti, then Bhishma departure, then Lord Krishna's departure and arrival at Dwarka. Like that, he is slightly deviated. So again, they are reminding this Nemi Saranya sages. They are reminding to Sutta Goswami, please come back to this topic. So these are the topics we are going to see today. One is from initially we are going to see about the qualities of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is a very exalted person. So what are the important qualities we'll see. Then we'll see about the vision of Lord in womb of Uttara, that is Parikshit Maharaj's mother. Then we will see about the what are the ceremonies conducted during Parikshit Maharaj's birth. From 7th verse to 11th verse, about that it is there. Then later qualities of Parikshit Maharaj. These Brahmanas were called, and that Brahmanas they predict how this Parikshit Maharaj's birth and his lifetime, how it will be like that. The Brahmanas predict about that we'll see. Then finally we'll see about Parikshit Maharaj's growth and Yudhishthira he does a sacrifice after that Kurukshetra war. He does a sacrifice to purify the entire all the things. So about that we'll see. So this see one thing we should remember that when we hear this Srimad Bhagavatam, this is mainly to improve our association. See, normally people say, with whomever we associate, we will become like that, isn't it? Same way, when we associate with Srimad Bhagavatam and pure devotee of the Lord, our qualities, our character also changes. This is very important. So when we hear about this Srimad Bhagavatam and hear about great devotees, our desires get changed. So this is very, very important. See, my material world, people they associate with all type of people. Most of the people they do a lot of sinful activities. We know from after hearing Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we come to know that many people they do a lot of sinful activity. So when we associate with that, if our desires get changed, that means we are really associating. Otherwise, in the external world, we may have to have interaction with normal people also, other people also. There is no problem in interacting with other people. Only thing is we should not take their desires. That is very important. Our desire should be to purify our life. See, so many millions and billions of bodies we have taken. And finally, we came to know about the Lord. We are hearing about Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So now we should try to be in this path only. Even if we interact with other people also, there is no problem because we are all, most of us are working in outside world. So we can interact with other people. But the thing is, we should not take their association. Means whatever activity they do, we should not try to imitate because for each action we know that there is a reaction. So if we do any sinful action, then reactions we will get it. That's why we should be very careful. So first we'll see about the qualities of Yudhishthira Maharaj. What are the great qualities? Because by hearing this Bhagavatam, even our characters we can slowly change. See, before coming to Krishna conscious, our characters would have been different. After coming to Krishna conscious, we ourselves will notice a lot of changes because we are associating with these great personalities. So when we hear, as all of us know, Yudhishthira Maharaj is a great personality, and these are the important qualities it is told in Bhagavatam. One is he administrated very generously. See, he was a selfless person. All his activity, he exhibited that he is a very selfless person. He always worked for the welfare of his citizens. That is an important thing. And he was like a father. A father means he will take care of his children. Same way, he has taken care of not only the prajas, not only the human beings, but also the other animals, all living beings he has taken care. That is very important. So in Vedic culture, people were like that. Praja means it includes animals, human beings, all living beings. But nowadays, if we see the government, they give importance only for human beings. They are not bothered about animals. So many animals, millions and billions of animals are being slaughtered. So that is very, very important. So if we want to be peaceful, then we should give due importance to other living beings also, animals also. Then only we can be happy. Otherwise, these days this materialistic civilization they face a lot of problem because they give a lot of troubles to uh, Mr. Rajesh or devotee has raised hand. Hare Krishna, after this session, we will have the question answer. That time we'll ask whatever question is there, we can ask and we can answer. So in these slides, mainly I put what are the important points and in each sloka, what is important thing covered, we have seen, I have put. And also in addition to that, in each purport, Prabhupada has given some very important learning points for all of us. So that also I put. So this Yudhishthira Maharaj's qualities, he was free of desires of sense gratification. That is very, very important. If we are a leader, then we should try to give up sense gratification. See, in the initial stage, sense gratification also will come along with us, but we should know that we should give up one day. If we have the desire to give up, and if we do our sadhana bhakti properly, regularly, daily, if we do, then the Lord will help us to get rid of this sense gratification. Otherwise, on our own, it may not be possible. Then other important quality of the Yudhishthira Maharaj is continuous service to Krishna's lotus feet. So Krishna was always with them, and he tried to take advice from Krishna and tried to serve whatever is Krishna says. He acted accordingly. And this Yudhishthira Maharaj is known for doing so much sacrifices. So this is very very important when we live in this society. Normally Shastra recommends three dharmic activities only. One is tapa, then dana, then yajna. These three activities we should always do. It is not applicable only for a Vedic life system. Even now we should do this. Tapa means whatever chanting we do daily. We get up early, we get ready and do chanting. Then we do Mangalarti. Then we read Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita books like that, and we try to take association of devotees. So these are all tapasya, because many times the outside world people they do entirely different activity. So we try to do this tapa. The Yagadesi days we try to do fasting. That is also tapa. Then dana means we try to give some charity for Krishna conscious activity. That is very important. We should not whimsically give some charity to some beggar or something, because they may take the money and misuse it. If somebody misuses our charity, then that reaction also comes to us. So we should be very, very carefully while giving this charity. And yajna means in Vedic times they used to have a fire sacrifice. They would put a lot of pure ingredients into that. So of course, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and our Acharya Srila Prabhupada they have recommended for this Kali Yuga. This is all not required. Simply we can do this Harinam Sankirtan. That is sufficient. We can chant the holy name of the Lord. When we are alone, we can chant the holy name of the Lord. When we all devotees, when we join together, we can do Sankirtan Yajna. So we can do a nice Kirtan. So that way, so these are the things we should follow. This Yudhishthira Maharaj and all the whatever we read from Bhagavatam, all the kings they were doing all these three things: tapa, dana, and the sacrifice, yajna. So this is very very important. So when we do that, we ourselves can see in our life there are so many good things are happening. Our mind gets purified. Otherwise, before coming to Krishna conscious, our mind is very dirty. So many sense gratification thoughts comes. But once when we come to Krishna conscious activity, when we do this tapa, dana, and yajna, this all gets changed. And this Yudhishthira Maharaj, he took care of all prajas. This is very important. We already discussed. Especially saw that humans were Krishna conscious. So when a king is ruling, he should see that all the people are dharmic. That is very important. And whereas if we see the current day government, they are not bothered whether you are following dharma or not. Simply they are allowing, I mean, they are encouraging sense gratification. And sense gratification and innocent animals they are sent to slaughterhouse. So this is the problem with the modern government. They allow all human beings to do sense gratification, and other living animals and other things they are sending to slaughterhouse. So that is a problem that we should be see once we are aware of these things, then we can try to come out of these things. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, nothing except devotional service to Lord could satisfy him. So he was never satisfied with any other activity. Only he was interested to do this satisfy Lord, whatever Lord says he wanted to do. Then we'll see in this first three slokas what other things are told. In this first sloka, Saunaga Rishi renews the topics of Maharaj Parikshit. He was saved by Supreme Lord in the womb. So about that he talks. The second sloka, he expressed a desire to hear about the Saunaga Rishis. The Saunaga Rishi, he expressed the desire to hear about his birth, this Parikshit Maharaj's birth, death, and destiny after death. About this he is asking. And in the third sloka, further desire to hear about Maharaj Parikshit. These are the three things it is told. So in the third verse, Prabhupada gives a nice purport. It's very, very important. What Prabhupada says is, we know that there are nine devotional activities, nine way of doing devotional activities, Saranam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, like that. Nine processes are there. In that, the first two, Sravanam, Kirtanam, these two are very important. So those who are chanting the holy name of the Lord, that is talking the Bhagavatam, and those who are hearing Bhagavatam, they get both get benefited. That's what Prabhupada says. It's not only suppose now I am talking, so I also get benefited, and those who are hearing this Bhagavatam, they also get benefited. So when we hear that, when this goes to our heart, our mind gets changed. So when we do activity, then from our inner voice we get a voice, oh, don't do this activity. We have heard like that in Bhagavatam class, we have heard, and the other many devotees are acting like this. Like that we get a thought and we can change ourselves. So this is very important. And in this fourth verse, very important thing is told is Yudhishthira Maharaj is a personality of goodness. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is known for goodness. And nowadays, many people, they talk about Ram Rajya. We need like that. See, people they talk about Ram Rajya, but they don't want Lord Ram. So how Lord Ram lived in this world, he has shown exhibited that nobody wants to follow. He was living such a austere life, though he was supreme personality of Godhead. He lived a very austere life, and he followed a lot of austerities and penances. They now, but nowadays people they don't want to follow all those things, but they want Ram Rajya like that. So that is not, we will not get anything like that. We have to follow what Lord Ram exhibited. Same thing we should try to live in our life. Then we can be peaceful. Then in this sixth verse, here Prabhupada says most of the people in this world they are engrossed in this material world. So we will be satisfied only when we serve the Lord. So many times all of us we think we are the master and all people are serving like that. But actually, if we see, we serve everybody. We serve our family members, our office colleagues, our society. Also, many people will serve. We are serving others only. But we also serve our senses, isn't it? Our lust, anger, greed, pride, envious, all these things are there. We serve them. See, in our mind tells you get angry, you get lusty, all these things, you get envious of other person when somebody does better than us. So these are all, we are, if you see, overall, we are trying to serve our senses only. We are not actually getting served. We are serving other people and our senses also. So finally, if we see, we are only the servant of all our senses. So we'll just try to read this verse. This is one of the important verse. Just we'll try to read this verse, sixth verse. Sixth verse. Kim te kama surasparha mugunda manaso dvijaha adijahur budam rajna kusuditasya yadetare. The translation is, O Brahmanas, the opulence of the king was so enchanting that the denizens of heaven aspired for it. But because he was absorbed in the service of the Lord, nothing could satisfy him except the Lord's service. So this is very, very important. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was satisfied only with the service of the Lord. He was not satisfied with serving his senses or serving others. So he was satisfied only by serving the Lord's senses. So this is very important. So in the fourth verse, Yudhishthira Maharaj as an example of perfect Krishna conscious leader. About that it is told. And the fifth verse, it talks about Yudhishthira's name and fame reached higher planets. See, Yudhishthira Maharaj, though he was living in this world, his name and fame, he was such a great personality. His name and fame was, he reached even higher planets. Such a great personality he is. See, many times people, they ask questions, how higher planetary these demigods and God, how in Bhagavatam we see that they descend to this world, but whereas nowadays they don't descend like that, they argue people. The reason is this material world is a dirty place. We ourselves, for example, in our own cities, we see there are some places they are very dirty where a lot of dirts are dumped. Such places, since it is filthy, we ourselves don't visit. For example, when the chief minister doesn't visit, suppose wherever these wastes are dumped, chief minister doesn't visit. Even we ourselves, ordinary citizens, we also don't visit. because the place is very filthy. So same way, this material world is a filthy place for demigods and God, because the place first of all is dirty externally, and internally also people they have a lot of anarthas in the heart. So these demigods and God they don't visit because it is a dirty place. That we should understand. See, earlier days when Yudhishthira Maharaj was ruling, people were following dharma. They were pure externally and internally. So demigods and Lord Krishna they themselves visited. But now because it is dirty, they don't visit. So these things we should know, because many times people will argue, "Oh, you people always talk about these things. Why they are not descending like that?" So we should know this. Then in the sixth verse, Yudhishthira had no attraction for worldly opulences. He was not interested in just enjoying his life, having though because he was a king. He was not interested. He wanted to just completely absorb in Lord's service. This is very important. Then the next verse is vision of Lord in the womb. That is, these things you would already heard about this Uttara. When Lord Krishna was about to go to Dwarka, then Uttara comes running towards Lord Krishna and says that Brahmastra is coming. Aswatthama has sent Brahmastra and it is coming to attack my womb. So please save me, like that. Uttara is requesting, Uttara is begging to Lord Krishna. So that time, Lord Krishna he goes inside the womb of Uttara and he protects Parikshit Maharaj. So this picture also shows. And here, one thing we should understand, Parikshit Maharaj was an innocent person. But due to this fallen age of Kali, the Brahmana son, after one or two chapters, you will hear about this. The Brahmana son, Srinki, he will curse that you will die in 7 days, like that. But when he cursed, it doesn't mean that Parikshit was very sinful person or something like that. Parikshit Maharaj is very innocent, but this age is this Kali Yuga was started. That is why that Brahmanas have become degraded, and he got angry and immediately cursed. So this is very important. So, but Parikshit Maharaj is a pure devotee of the Lord. That's why Lord Krishna enters the womb of Uttara and he saves Parikshit Maharaj. And this eighth verse about Lord's appearance inside the womb, no, the details also given. The eighth verse says, "He, the Lord, was only thumb high." So the Lord's size was only thumb high. Thumb is there, no? That means size he was. He was all transcendental. He had very beautiful blackish, infallible body, and he wore a dress of lightning yellow and a helmet of blazing gold. Thus, he was seen by the child. So, when Krishna entered the womb, then in Vishnu form, Parikshit Maharaj could see that somebody is coming to protect me. Otherwise, Brahmastra, it was generating lot of heat. It would have burned the womb, but Lord entered in the right time and he protected. And Parikshit saw the Lord with four hands, earring of molten gold, and eye blood red with fury. This is Lord Vishnu's form. With four hands and earring, his Lord is having earring of molten gold, and his eye is like blood red. Like that, this Lord's detail also is given. And this law here it is told because he is all pervasive, that is, Lord is pervasive, unlimited, and the Lord is always unlimited by time and space. That we should always remember. Lord is not limited by time and space. We should not tell why many of Lord's activity, it will not be like ours, it will be extraordinary, it will be like a miraculous things. That we should understand. Lord is not bound by time and space. So he appeared even in the womb of the mother. See, normally we human beings, we cannot enter another womb just like that. But Lord can do any activity because he is spiritual, his body is spiritual, and he is the cause of all causes. So he can do anything. And he is the protector of the righteous. So Lord will always see that the righteous people are protected and sinful people are punished. See, we may see now so many sinful people are not punished like that, we may think. So this sinful activity, those people, they may do the activity now, but the results they will get later. Just like we see so many seeds are there. If you plant it, Some plants will come in 3 months, some plants will come in 6 months, or some plants will come in 1 year, 2 year, like that. So the seed, just like the we see in the plants seeds, same way our actions also like seeds only. We do the actions like that. The reaction for the action that may take time. That is in Lord's hand. We cannot dictate. Oh, I have done some sinful activity. I should get the reaction now only, like that. So it is not in our hand. Till we do the action, we are in control. But once we have done the action, then Lord is in control. That we should understand. Then in this 12th verse, in the 12th verse, it is stated that every action of the life produces another reaction which is binding upon us, and only those who are acting on behalf of Yajna, that is Vishnu, are not bound by the reactions. Our actions are judged by the higher authorities, the agents of the Lord, and thus we are awarded bodies according to our activity. So this is very important. For every action, there is a reaction. So there are so many demigods are there. All our actions are accounted, and according to our actions, we get the our next body. So if suppose in this life we have purified ourselves completely, then we will get fully liberated and we can go back to the Lord. Otherwise, we will get the body according to our actions. So that is very important. And another important thing is when a child takes birth, in Vedic times, people they used to do lot of samskaras. This is very very important. But nowadays, people they don't have any faith in these things. But we should follow these things. If we follow that, then our destination is fixed. Otherwise, we will be punished only. We even earlier days, if you see 20, 30 years back, people are following this all these things. This Garbhadana samskara they used to follow. Then when they are pregnant, also they do some samskaras. Then when the child is born, that time they do some samskaras. Then naming ceremony they will have. Then when they first feed the food, that time they will have some samskaras. Then when they shave the head of the child, first when they shave that also. So many samskaras they used to do. So this all as per this Sanatana Dharma, a child is born, these things are to be done. If we do all these things, then we are all pious people and we are dharmic and our destination is fixed. If we do these things, then we get liberated. But if we do whimsically, we don't have faith, these things, then we will suffer for all these things. And when the child was about to born, this Yudhishthira Maharaj, he wanted to know this Parikshit Maharaj whether he will be a saintly kings like us. See, Parikshit, this Yudhishthira Maharaj was a saintly king, and his predecessors also all they were saintly. Because those days the people only they follow dharma. Well, few people were there not following dharma; they were all punished. But this Yudhishthira Maharaj, he wanted to know whether this Parikshit Maharaj will be a saintly king. So when the child is about to born, normally those days they will invite some brahmanas. They will ask this astrology, how this child's future, how it will be, what will be his destination. So those days the brahmanas they were so pious and they were knowing all these things. They could predict all these things very nicely. But nowadays, people we don't have competent these astrologers. That is a problem. Otherwise, this astrology is perfect. It is a infallible knowledge. But this nowadays we don't get competent people. That is a problem. So the Yudhishthira Maharaj he calls for a brahmanas and he asks what is will be the future of this Parikshit, this child, and all these things inquires. And afterwards he gives a lot of dana, charity. He gives a lot of charity, and he does yajna. All these things he does. And these predictions, these are the predictions the Brahmanas say, among bowmen, he'll be like Arjuna. So he'll be a great warrior like Arjuna, his grandfather, like he'll be there. And he'll be a chastiser of upstarts and quarrelsome people of Kali. So in Kali Yuga, a lot of people they will be very egoistic and quarrelsome. So that all he will be chastise them. And he was also predicted that his death and surrender to Lord was also made. So it was predicted that he will be cursed by the Brahmana and he will surrender to the Lord and he will go back to the Lord. So that also was predicted by the Brahmanas. And these are the ceremonies performed during the birth of Parikshit Maharaj. This one is Garbhadana Samskara, it was done. Then Simandon Nayana, this was also was done. When the woman is pregnant, that time this will be done. Then Jatakarma, so when the child is just born, so this ceremony also will be done. So these are also is performed when Parikshit Maharaj took birth. This all were done. And in the 13th verse, it is told, there is a need for a good and intelligent class of Brahmanas who are expert in performing purificatory process. So many times we may wonder this all these things now we don't have proper brahmanas like that we may wonder. But our acharyas they say even if to the extent possible we should try to do. If we don't do also at least we can do sankirtan yajna. This can be always done. We can whenever like these ceremonies are there we can invite our known devotees and we can have sankirtan yajna and we can have Sankirtan, nice Hare Krishna Kirtan, we can have then small Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam class we can have and distribute prasadam. So this is always possible. Even if you don't find qualified Brahmanas also, if we can do that, then this is a purificatory process. That this we can do. Many devotees they do nowadays. So this if we practice, then it is good. And this whatever system recommended, it's called Pancharatriya system. So Pancharatriya system means even people who are not taken birth in non-Brahmin family, they can also practice these things. That is what our acharyas, they are so mercifully they have done. Otherwise, previously some people they were telling only Brahmanas can do all these things like that. But our acharyas are so merciful that even people who have taken birth in other varnas also, they can also do like that. So this is very important. And in this seventh verse, it is told, Parikshit, child Parikshit saw the Supreme Lord within the womb, and the Lord's features has appeared in the womb. Thumb high, beautiful, yellow garments, and golden helmet. So these are the things visible on the Lord's appearance. And further features, the Lord's this one is enriched with four hands. So Lord appeared with four hands and the earrings of molten gold and eyes blood red with fury and moving with club looked like shooting star. So this club and all club he was having. Lord Vishnu was having the inside the room of Uttara. So these all Parikshit Maharaj observed these things. Then the 10th verse says, Lord contracted the heat of Brahmastra. So Brahmastra, see the Aswatthama was there and Arjuna was there. So Dronacharya, he taught all these skills to both Aswatthama and Arjuna and many other people. But this Aswatthama, he didn't know how to retract Brahmastra. That is very important, we can know. Aswatthama, though he was a brahmachari, he didn't know how to withdraw this Brahmastra. But Arjuna, though he was in Grahastha ashram, he was devotee of the Lord and he knew this. So suppose if some Brahmastra is released, how we can be withdrawn? That Arjuna was knowing, but Aswatthama was not knowing. So this is very important. And the Lord disappeared from there after saving the child. So once Parikshit Maharaj was saved, then Lord disappeared from the womb. And here it is given this charity, about charity in the 14th verse. Prabhupada talks about Brahmanas and sannyasis are authorized to accept charity from the householders. So this is very important. Only Brahmanas and sannyasis we are supposed to they are only they are supposed to accept charity. So we should not give to some poor people. Pure people we can always give prasad because prasad means they will just eat it. But if we give money in Kali Yuga, we don't know people they may buy cigarette, they may buy some liquor and drink. So if they do, if somebody takes that money and do that activity, that sin also comes to us. That's why for ordinary people we should give only prasad. Only for brahmanas and sannyasi, they are all very pure people. For them we can give charity. So this is very important. And this charity was whatever Yudhishthira Maharaj was giving the charity. It was gold, land, villages, horses, elephants, and food grains. With so many things because those days people were very opulent. They had all these things, but nowadays we don't have that much. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was giving all these things. And in this 17th verse, Prabhupada talks about this three grades of devotees. So this is very important for us. One is Mahabhagavata, that means Uttama Adhikari, then Madhyama Adhikari, then Kanishta Adhikari. Kanishta Adhikari means he is a neophyte, he has just taken up Krishna conscious activity. He has some faith in Lord, and but the problem with Kanishta Adhikari is he doesn't have any respect for the devotees. That is a problem. He thinks he can directly associate with the Lord. When he comes to temple also, he will directly go to the Lord and he will take darshan and he will this one. So he will not have any interaction with devotees. That is a problem with Kanishta Adhikari. Madhyama Adhikari is he is good in the philosophy and he has respect for the devotees. He tries to if somebody argues also he can to some extent he can convince the people, but he will not have very deep knowledge, and he has good faith in Krishna, Lord. He never gives up Krishna consciousness also. But Mahabhagavata, they are very great personalities. They are very pure and they are fully strong in Krishna conscious activity. They have a long, strong faith, and they see Lords in every human being. They see Lord. Such a great personalities, Mahabhagavatas, the Uttama Adhikari. Our acharyas, they are all Mahabhagavatas. And in the 24th verse, here Prabhupada says, the foolish people don't know that the association is the cause of occurring qualities. So this is very important for us. So when we associate with any people, we should be observing whether our desire changes. We should see that our desire don't change when we associate with materialistic people. Because materialistic people, they do a lot of sinful activities, isn't it? So when we associate with them, associate means not interaction. It's not association means the desire changes. So we can only have interaction with materialistic people. We should have association with the devotees only. So this is very important. And this is a summary of these verses. In the 12th verse, Maharaj Parikshit was favored by all good signs of zodiac. So these astrological things. And in the 13th verse, it is told this was arranged the purificatory process for Parikshit. Then 14th verse, this distributed charity to learned Brahmanas. They only predicted the lifetime of Parikshit, no? That one. Then the 15th verse says about being satisfied with the charity. They informed that Parikshit was certainly in the line of Purus, because this Pandavas, their predecessor, Purus. So he will follow Purus dynasty, the same line only he will be there. So that confidence the Brahmanas are given to Yudhishthira Maharaj. The 16th verse says, the spotless child has been protected by the Lord to oblige your dynasty. So you will simply follow your dynasty. Whatever you are doing, same thing you will follow. So that much confidence the Brahmanas have given to Yudhishthira Maharaj. The 17th verse says, the child will be famous as Vishnu Ratha and would be first class devotee. So this also the Brahmanas say. Vishnu Ratha means who has seen the Lord. So in the Parikshit Maharaj has seen the Lord in the womb of womb, no? So that's why he is called Vishnu Ratha, and he will be a first class devotee. So in this 19th to 25th verse, so many qualities of Parikshit Maharaj. It is compared with so many great personalities. It is given. So for example, in the 19th verse, it is told that this Parikshit Maharaj will be like King Ikshvaku, son of Manu, in maintaining all those who are born. So all the prajas, he will Ikshvaku king was taking care very nicely. So same way Parikshit Maharaj also will be doing like that. Then he is compared it is also told in the 19th verse, he is compared to Lord Ram for following the Brahminical principles, especially in being true to his promises. So whatever promises Lord Ram made, he followed it as though he was supreme personality of Godhead. To set an example, he was following. So this Brahmanas say even Parikshit also will follow like that. Then Parikshit also was like King Sibi. King Sibi, there is a story is there that one eagle will come and will be chasing a dove. That dove will come and sit on the Sibi Maharaj's lap. Please save me like that. Because Sibi Maharaj was He was taking care of all living beings, even birds and animals also he was taking care of as a Raja. So then the eagle was telling that then where I will go for main food. So that time Sibi Maharaj says that I will give flesh from my body like that. So Sibi Maharaj was ready to give his body only for the eagle. So such a great kings were there those days. So Parikshit Maharaj also will be like that is predicted. Then Bharata, this is son of Dushyanta. Dushyanta king was there. His son is Bharata. So his name was Bharata's name and fame was very spread everywhere. Like for our country, India is called Bharatvarsha. No? It is kept on this Bharata's name only. So Parikshit Maharaj also will have that much name and fame. That is what the Brahmanas predict. Then this amongst greatest great bowmen, this Parikshit Maharaj will be like Arjuna. So this also is prediction. And like fire, this Parikshit Maharaj will be irresistible. So fire, whatever goes, it will burn. Same way, Parikshit Maharaj also is a very irresistible person. And like ocean is unsurpassable. Then like a lion, he is very strong. Then he is worthy of shelter of like Himalayan mountains. Himalayan mountains, somebody goes, they will get lot of foods, so many minerals, so many things are available in the Himalayan mountain. Same way, whoever comes to Parikshit Maharaj, he will give shelter and he will take care of them like that. Then he is compared to the earth in forbearing. See, so many people do so many sinful activity. So earth is very patiently, it is bearing everything, isn't it? So Parikshit Maharaj also forbearing everything. And like his parents, Pandavas, he was tolerant. All Pandavas very tolerant. So many problems were created by Kauravas. It was they tolerated. So same way Parikshit Maharaj also is very tolerant, like that it's told. And he was also equanimity in mind and in beneficent, like Lord Shiva. Then so many other comparisons are given, like he's he will follow. He was just following the footsteps of Lord Krishna. About that it is given. In magnanimity, he was compared to King Ranti Deva. Then in religion, see, Ayati king was known for following the religion perfectly. So Parikshit Maharaj also is like that only. And Bali Maharaj also, it is there in the ninth canto that when Lord Vishnu came as Vamana and Bali Maharaj, he gave everything. His kingdom, he gave everything. So same way, this Parikshit also will be like that. Then staunch devotee of Lord Krishna is Prahlad Maharaj. So Parikshit also will be like Prahlad Maharaj. He will be a very staunch devotee like that. These are the predictions given by the Brahmanas to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Then, in the 26th verse, Prabhupada talks about the symptoms of Kali Yuga. Prabhupada says, wine, woman, gambling, and slaughterhouse. These are the symptoms of Kali Yuga. So this we can see nowadays, isn't it? We go to any country, we see wine is there, then illicit relationships are there, then gambling is there, then slaughterhouse is there. So here, I was hearing from one devotee, he was telling, see, whenever people have any body, materialistic body, having flesh, blood, then these things naturally will come, it seems. See, earlier days, people were very pious and they were following Shastra, they were following the rules and regulations. So they were not attracted to wine, women, gambling, and slaughterhouses. But now people they don't want to follow anything. They don't want to follow. And government also they think people as the way they like to live, we should allow them full freedom. We should give. We should not interfere in anybody's freedom like that. Government thinks so. They allow people to do whatever they want. So when the people are like that, by naturally they will get into this. It seems. For example, we would have studied many times in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam that this eating, sleeping, enjoying, and fearing, this is common for all living beings in this world, isn't it? Eating, sleeping, enjoying, and fearing. This no one need to teach anybody. A child is born, if you naturally at the proper time, the child will learn all these things. Eating, yeah, automatically the child, we see the small children, they want to put everything, whatever comes to its hand, it wants to put inside the mouth. We can see sleeping also. Whenever the child is tired, it will sleep. We need not teach the child you go and sleep like that. Eating also we need not teach. It will learn on its own. And when they reach the teenage, automatically they get attracted to opposite sex, and this relationship they get into that. Nobody need to teach. And this fearing also, always it is there. As long as we do fear, sinful activities, the fear comes naturally. So these four activities human beings also have and animals also have. So this naturally, when we have this body, materialistic body with blood and flesh, these four activities will come naturally, it seems. No need to teach. For example, even if you don't teach any person nowadays that you don't have illicit relationship, this liquor drinking and this slaughterhouse, animal killing and eating, even if you don't teach anybody also, by default they will learn because so much pleasure is there. See, all of us are filled with a lot of desires, isn't it? Each person is filled with so many desires. So the desires, these four things are very common, it seems. When you don't follow Shastra, these four desires will be naturally there. You go to any country, now Europe or America or any country you go, these four things will be naturally there. That is why Shastra gives this as the four restrictions, regulations. This also people can do, but under regulation. They cannot whimsically do all these things. For everything, regulation is there. Regulation is there means we should understand that it's not good for us. That is, we should understand. Actually, we should give up all these things. Those who cannot give up, they can consume it in a regulated way, and over a period of time, we can give it up. For example, in this relationships, enjoying, at a time the human being they may not be able to give it up because so we are so much addicted to this, so many millions and billions of bodies we have enjoyed, we cannot give it up straight away, but we should know that we should give it up. If we know that, then one day we can give it up. But if you think no, it's not required, we cannot give it up like that, if you have the thought, then our mind will ensure that we will never give up. So this is very, very important because these things, if we know these things, then we can try to follow. But if you don't know only, then where is the question of following? So that is why we should remember that these things naturally it will be there. We should try to see how we can give up. This giving up is possible only when you take the association of people who have given up. See, that is the greatness of bhakti. So, if you want to know about Lord or His devotees, you should associate with people who are having such relationships, who have deep faith in the Lord. If you associate with them, then our desires also get changed. Otherwise, if you associate with materialistic people, then their desires get transferred to us. All illicit relationships, wine, then gambling, these all will come. We associate with materialistic people. So this is very, very important. Only when we give up these things, then we can be peaceful and we can follow morality. Morality. Nowadays, people they think whatever they follow is moral like that. It is not like that. Morality means it's all given in Shastra, what we should do, what we should not do. See, when we follow morality, then peace will come automatically. When we follow dharmic activity, then peace will come automatically. Now, most of the time, we are not peaceful. That means we are not following morality. That is a straight away we can understand. Then this 27th verse says, material attachment and taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord go ill together. So this is very, very important. We should understand. Materialistic attachment. Material attachment means we are attached to so many enjoyments. And this other side, we are trying to practice this Krishna consciousness. These are like our two legs. Suppose we are traveling in a boat, one leg on this material attachment, boat, two boats are there. One leg we are kept in one boat and the other leg in other boat. As long as both the boats are going nearby, going together, there's no problem. But once deviating, then we have to come to this side or that side, isn't it? Same way, this materialistic attachment, first level, we should know that it is not good for us. When we know that, then we can give it up. But if we think it's okay, then we can never give up. So material attachment, at least we should have the desire that I should give it up one day. Then Lord will help us. But if we think, oh, it's okay, everybody is doing, I will also do like that. If we think, then we can never give it up. The devotional service to the Lord while existing in this material world is way to practice one's transcendental relationship with the Lord. So all the devotional services we are doing chanting, hearing, then doing arti, all these activities, they are all devotional activities. When we do that, we are directly associating with the Lord and we get purified. So this is very, very important. And when it is mature, one gets completely free from all materialistic attachments and becomes competent to go back to Godhead. So only when you become pure, then we can go back to Godhead. And this 28th verse, 1.12.28, see, material knowledge means ignorance of knowledge of one's own self. So material knowledge means what we study in schools, colleges, what that is called material knowledge. So material knowledge, it will help us to get a job. We can get a job, we can earn money, but to live peacefully, we need to have this Krishna conscious knowledge. Otherwise, if you don't have this Krishna conscious knowledge, then people indulge in all sinful activities. And when we do sinful activity, the three things will happen. One is we will be lamenting always, oh, this problem is there, that problem is there, always it is there. Then hankering will be there. I need to do that, I need to do this enjoyment, I should buy this one, I should go here, there, like that. That hankering will be always there. So this and the fear will be there. This fear is very important, isn't it? Most of us we have fear. So when we have this lamentation, hankering, and fear, we can understand that we are doing wrong activities. That is a straight away we can understand. If somebody is doing Krishna conscious activity, he will never have any lamentation, he will never have any hankering, and he will never have any fear. You can take our Acharya Srila Prabhupada. He was in 11 years, he has done wonders. He has traveled all over the world. He was executing so many temples, so much preaching all over the world. 14 times he went around everywhere. He never had any, this one lamentation, oh, I have not done this, that, like that. Because he was fully engaged in Krishna conscious activity. Not only he engaged, he engaged so many thousands of people all over the world. He engaged in Krishna conscious activity. He made them also not to have lamentation, hankering, and fear. So when we indulge in this Krishna conscious activity, when we chant the holy name of the Lord, when we hear about the Lord, this Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, then these things will go away and we will experience bliss in our heart. Bliss means it is a eternal things. See, in the materialistic life, we get happiness. That happiness, if you take any happiness, the highest happiness in this material world is sexual pleasure, isn't it? That lasts for how much time? Maybe 10 seconds, 20 seconds, that's all. And it is a temporary, and you cannot have, that is called temporary happiness. But the bliss is, you will be 24 by 7, you will be happy. That bliss, Ananda, it is told in Shastra, Ananda means you will be happy 24 by 7. Whereas the materialistic thing all gives temporary pleasures, 2, 10 seconds, 20 seconds pleasures. But when we practice this Krishna conscious things, when we do associate with devotees, then we know really what is bliss. That is why this when we practice this Krishna conscious, this ignorance will go away. Just like in a dark room, a light is switched on, then the darkness cannot come. When light is there, darkness cannot come. Same way, when the Krishna conscious knowledge is there, all our ignorances will go away. We know what is right, what is wrong. We know that and we will straight away start doing it. So when we see in this purport, 1.2, 12.28, if you see, it's very important. We don't have much time, so I'm not taking much time. But the main thing what here Prabhupada says is the fear will go away. See, fear means what? We should understand. Fear is unwillingness to accept uncertainties in life. In our life, because we have done so many sinful activities in so many millions of bodies, so the reactions will happen when we are there in this material world. See, many times we don't want to accept that. That's why we are having fear. See, whatever comes, if you accept, yes, I have done some mistake, so the reaction is coming, I will take it. Like that, if we take responsibility, then there is no fear. But people, they don't have fear in doing any activity. They do any sinful activity, illicit relationship, then drinking, wine, meat eating. They don't have any fear when they do the actions. But when the reaction comes, then they have fear. The reaction comes as in the form of fear, then some disease comes, so many depression, anxiety comes, they are very fearful. But when they do the activity, they are not fearful. Actually, we should have fear when we do the activity also, because every action has a reaction. So when we do some sinful activity, the reaction will be there. So we do responsible actions as per Shastra, what is told in Shastra when we do, then this fear will not be there. When we do irresponsible activity, then the fear comes. Then this depression, we should know what is depression. Depression means fear of past failures. So depression means fear of past failure. So something we have done that has failed. So because of that, we are having some fear. That is depression. And anxiety means fear of future failure, future failures. See, we may do some activity in future, whether I will be kept in job, I will get my salary or not, whether I will be happy with my relatives or society. So this is anxiety. Future failures. We are worried about future failures. This is called anxiety. So these things will go away when our life is pure. Naturally, it will all go away. This you may not believe many times. You see our acharyas, so many devotees we hear in this when we hear so many lectures. See, they never had any fear. They didn't have any facility like we have. We have electricity, we have car, so many petrol, diesel, so many enjoyment facilities we have. In spite of having everything, we have so much fear and so much anxiety. But if you see our acharyas and earlier days, whatever the Lord's devotees, they never had any fear because they were living a, moral life, the dharmic life. They were following dharma, so they never. When people follow dharma, there is no question of fear. When we do adharma, that time only the fear comes. So this is very, very important. We can understand practically in our own life. We can see when we start doing dharmic activity, Krishna conscious activity, this all will go away. We can see. Then, so here on the one point, the 29th verse says, Vedas are the guide for the civilized man in every respect. So human life is opportunity to get free from all material miseries. So this we should understand. Only in human form of life we can get out of all these miseries. Whereas animal cannot understand. The animal always thinks it is its body. It doesn't know why problem comes, why death comes, why disease comes. The animal doesn't know. But in human life, we have the great opportunity to know why I don't know something, why I'm getting. That question we can ask. So the Vedas gives, these are the thing human being is supposed to follow. So if you follow that, then see this everybody cannot follow. Only the intelligent class of people. Shastra says only intelligent class of people can follow, because other people, foolish people, they never understand why so many problems are happening. So the specific intelligent class of people who are devoted particularly to the knowledge of Vedas are called Vipras. Vipras means a type of people. They know the Shastric knowledge. This materialistic knowledge they know. See here, Vipras are those who are expert in karma kanda. Karma kanda means as per Shastra, you do some activity, you will get some happiness, you will get some reward. That is karma kanda. So the Vipras are those who are expert in karma kanda. And fruitive activities. Fruitive activity means you do this activity, you will get like this. So Vipras are those who they are expert in that. Whereas Brahmanas are expert in spiritual knowledge of transcendence. Transcendence means getting out of this world and going back to Lord's abode. So Brahmanas are the one who knows the knowledge of going back to the Lord. Vipras are the one. Vipras also they follow the Veda. They follow the Veda, but they are karma kandis. They, as per Shastra, they do some activities and they get some result and they want to enjoy. They have the enjoying mentality. Whereas the Brahmanas are the one, they given up this enjoying mentality, they want to go back to the Lord. See the last line here it says, Prabhupada says, the Brahmanas achieve perfection. When the Brahmanas achieve perfection, they are called Vaishnavas. So a perfect Brahmana is called Vaishnava. That's what the Prabhupada says in the purport. So Brahmana is a practicing stage. So if you perfected oneself, then they are called Vaishnavas. That is, they are pure devotee of the Lord. Then in 1.26, The father of the kings who will be like sages and chastier of the upstarts and quarrelsome. This we have seen. And Parikshit Maharaj, he will take advantage of advance notices of his death. So this is also predicted. So the Brahmanas have predicted that he will get advance notice. All of us we know that Parikshit Maharaj got 7 days advance notice. So then the 28th verse says he will submit to bona fide hearing process. Hearing process. So Sukadev Goswami was giving all this, explaining all this Srimad Bhagavatam, and Parikshit Maharaj was hearing. So by hearing, Parikshit Maharaj got perfected. Then the 29th verse says Maharaj Yudhishthira awards Vipras. That means the Brahman, whoever the Brahmanas they came and they give predictions for them. Yudhishthira Maharaj gives a lot of rewards. He gives a lot of food. So many things we have seen earlier. No, that all he gives. So here in the purport says karma kanda portion stresses the execution of fruitive activities. Fruitive activity means you do this activity, you will get this pleasure. So this is called karma kanda. The jnana kanda means the process of understanding the absolute truth by speculative method. There's so many pandits, no? They will learn lot of shastras and they will speculate. If you do this way, then you will get liberated like that. So the Jnanakanda people, their aim is to get liberated. So they will not indulge in all sense gratification and other things, but they learn lot of shastra and they try to get liberated. Upasana Kanda means worshipping different demigods. So we know that under Lord, Supreme Lord, there are so many demigods. They are the administrative people executing all Lord's directions. So the people who are worshipping these demigods, they are following Upasana Kanda. So we know this Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and Upasana Kanda. So maybe we should know what it is. So this is what it is given. The demigods are just like different parts of the whole body of the Supreme Lord. So we should understand this. Supreme Lord is a whole, and his bodily parts, limbs are called demigods. So they are just administrative heads. So whatever Lord says, whatever law of nature Lord creates, these executive heads, they simply execute it. They are, so to say, just like the government of the king. There is one king, but there are many state officers. So this is the example Prabhupada very often says. And in the 30th verse, the child will be called Parikshit. It says Parikshit means the meaning is examiner. So inside his mother's womb, Parikshit Maharaj has seen the Lord's form. So when he takes birth, when he comes out also, he sees all human being. Whatever I have seen in the womb of my mother, same person, whether I am able to see like that. He is always seeing all the people and he is examining. That is why his name is Parikshit. Then the 30th and 31st verse says, the royal prince devoted luxuriantly like moon in the waxing fortnight. 32 verse says, Maharaj Yudhishthira considered performing horse sacrifice and desired to collect wealth for this sacrifice. So this sacrifice, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he wanted to do after the Kurukshetra war, he wanted to do a sacrifice. So for doing a sacrifice, lot of wealths are occurred. In the 33 verse, it says, all brothers helped to collect sufficient riches from the north. They left by King Maruta. Maruta, this we'll see. Then the 34th verse says, sacrifice performed and pleased, the whatever sacrifice Yudhishthira Maharaj performed, it pleased Hari, Lord Hari. And Yudhishthira performed horse sacrifice to get freed from sinful reactions which may have occurred due to battle of Kurukshetra. So this whatever sin would have occurred due to this war, so Yudhishthira Maharaj wanted to be free from all those things. That's why he wanted to do the sacrifice. Then the 31st verse says, Lord Krishna supervised yajnas personally. So Lord Krishna was there with the Saga Yajna was there. He was personally seeing everything. The last verse says, Lord stayed for some time and then left for Dwarka. And afterwards, Lord left for Dwarka, it is told. And this Maruta king is their predecessors. He was doing a yajna where he has invited all the brahmanas, all the people, and he has given, he has conducted a very big yajna where a lot of pure substances, ghee and other things are put. And after the yajna, they give lot of donation. Whoever comes for the yajna, they give lot of donation. They give lot of wealth, gold, like that. So many utensils, so many grains, and so many animals for their helping them in the agriculture work. So many things they give. So here, what Krishna suggests to Yudhishthira Maharaj is, when King Maruta he conducted the sacrifice, he left a lot of this golden plate, so many things they left it there. You send people to go there and collect all those things, and you can use it in your sacrifice, like that. Uh, Lord Krishna is advising Yudhishthira Maharaj. See, those days, people, they were so pure that if lot of things are there, they will not take it. Now, if some gold is lying on the road, immediately we'll take it and we want to keep it with us. But those days, people were not like that. People were very generous. They were so pious. See, in this yajna, this particular yajna, so much wealth was distributed, and after this for eating also, it is told in this purport Prabhupada says, people are given food in the golden plate, it seems, for all the brahmanas and all the people. They were given lot of food with the golden plate. The people, after eating in the golden plate, they were throwing the plate and went. So people are so much detached. So they didn't bother. This gold is it's very, has a lot of value. I should take it in my home, and I should retain in my home, like that. They were very detached. After eating, they were throwing. So Krishna is telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, you go there and take everything, and you can use it for in your sacrifice, like that. Krishna says. So with this, I come to the, with this I end. So if there are any doubts, we can ask. There are some questions, I think. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Vipin Prabhu. Vipin Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna devotees, I have finished my this class. Whoever has doubt, they can unmute and they can ask the question. If there are any questions or any comment, you can ask. Vipin Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Satyam Naik Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the class.
Thank
it was
you,
very
Mataji.
interesting, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Prabhu. Very nice class, Prabhu.
Thank you for the class, Prabhu. Very nice.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thanks, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna. We can all quit. Now, Vipin Prabhu will post the quiz. We can try to answer that. Thank you very much, devotees. Hare Krishna.